Broadcasting live from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, this is TBC News, our top stories. Ministry of Foreign Affairs dedicates its budget on diplomacy. Tanzania and the United States committed to improve trade.
We can get U.S. investors to come to Tanzania, and there are already some investments for it.
Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. I am Kankimwe Gumole. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. The Parliament has passed 241 billion shillings, a budget for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the financial year 2024-2025, 70% of it being dedicated to diplomacy issues. Speaking in Parliament in Dodoma, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, January Makamba, says the establishment of new investments is among the top priorities of the ministry.
Hali ya baadhi ya majengo yetu haiendani na heshima nchi yetu.
The condition of some buildings does not portray well our country, and we must change this. When a person visits any of our embassies in other countries, we must make sure that the building is in a good condition and give our visitor a good reflection of how Tanzania is.
Contributing to the budget speech, some of the parliamentaries insisted on economic diplomacy, exploration of economic opportunities, and strengthening of the Kiswahili language beyond boundaries of Tanzania. In 1 year's time, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has coordinated 31 trips for high-profile leaders to visit other countries and 35 visits inside the country. Tanzania and the United States are committed to improve trade between the two countries from the present level of $460 million US. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry and Trade, Dr. Hashil Abdallah, made the remarks in Dar es Salaam when addressing a commercial dialogue between Tanzania and the United States aimed at identifying barriers that hinder the growth of business between the two countries. Rehema Sebabili has more details.
Addressing delegates of the commercial dialogue in Dar es Salaam, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry and Trade, Dr. Hashil Abdallah, said that the discussion will focus on digital economy, market access, regulatory and business climate reforms, as well as trade missions and trade fairs between American and Tanzanian business community.
We have more potential to increase trade volume between Tanzania and the U.S. in the coming years if we will efficiently utilize trade and investment opportunities between our two countries. We believe cooperation between Tanzania and the U.S. through commercial dialogue platforms will significantly enhance trade and investment between Tanzania and the U.S.
On his part, the American ambassador to Tanzania, Michael Beto, says American business firms have already made investment in important sectors of the Tanzanian economy.
And with this dialogue, it's trying to see how we can do that more easily. How we can get U.S. investors to come to Tanzania, and there are already some investments. For example, the Temple nickel processing plant that is already in the process of being negotiated. The $42 billion LNG project has already been examined by Tanzania. Our model is not just to increase trade and investment between us and Tanzania, but to find out ways that we can help finance trade and investment between other countries and Tanzania as well.
The purpose of commercial dialogue is to advance and deepen business ties between Tanzania and the United States by implementing the agreement that Tanzania's Minister of Industry and Trade, Dr. Ashatu Kijaji, and American Minister of Commerce, Gina Raimondo, signed in October last year. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Rehema Sebabili, TBC News.
The Minister of Finance, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, has asked Indonesia to cooperate with Tanzania in order to improve tax systems so as to increase the government revenue collection and eliminate challenges facing taxpayers in the country. Dr. Nchemba made the request in Dodoma when he met with the Indonesia's ambassador to Tanzania, Tri Yogo Jatmiko, for talks aiming at strengthening the relationship between the two countries.
We are reviewing the tax system itself. Of course, we have made some studies and internal one, but we wish to get the experience in countries like Indonesia. If we will be granted that opportunity of having a part of our staff come to Indonesia to learn these taxations, the tax systems, the automation, the inclusion, or expansion of tax base, that one will highly be appreciated.
He thanked Indonesia for its contribution in the country's development, whereby it has facilitated different economic projects and provided training to Tanzanians in different aspects. On his part, the Indonesia's ambassador to Tanzania, Tri Yogo Jatmiko, says his country will continue to train Tanzanians in energy, agriculture and business, promising to inspire the Indonesia's business community to invest in Tanzania.
Because you have already your embassy, Indonesian businessmen also many that are asking for information inquiries to your embassy, and then they visit us here. And also for next July Sabah also there are many Indonesian will be participating and will be coming to the exhibition, as well as to Nani Nani in Bea. So, and not least also those who are coming to Arusa to see Serengeti and climbing up Kilimanjaro.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, Professor Riziki Shemdoe, says that deep-sea fishing resources must be accurately tailed using electronic methods for the nation to have sustainable fishing. He made the remarks while opening a stakeholders workshop on the implementation of electronic monitoring on deep-sea fishing vessels within the country.
The only way we will get a reliable data, reliable information, and we can see what is actually happening in the deep sea. Otherwise, if you expect that you will get data from a person who is seated in the vessel, he can also be bought. And he brings or she brings to you the data that are not reliable, not the ones that we expected to get, or not the real data that we are actually hoping we can get from it. But if we have the electronic monitoring systems, that will assure us that we can get reliable information for us to use.
On his part, the Director General of the Deep Sea Fishing Authority, Dr. Emmanuel Sweke, anticipated that the USAID-sponsored pilot project will begin in the fiscal year 2024-2025, involving the use of the system by the deep sea fisheries.
This will help the government to promote sustainable fisheries in the EEZ, the exclusive economic zone of Tanzania, and will also provide economic for the people of Tanzania.
Development stakeholders in the country have been urged to initiate ample agriculture and environmental projects due to the fact that agriculture is the backbone of the country's economy, whereas environment and climate are the global agendas that need to be focused upon. Speaking at the closure of the training on accelerating sustainable and climate-resilient livelihood to small and agribusiness enterprises for women and youth, provided by the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, UNITA, in collaboration with the National Economic Empowerment Council. The Executive Secretary of the National Economic Empowerment Council, Bengi Issa, says the 6 months training has already yielded results to the participants.
They've been trained in how to access finance, strategies on market, issues related to market, business development, and also issues related to how they can connect to each other to develop their businesses. We've been able to reach about 30 enterprises, and we've been able, as an impact to the program, 15 enterprises have been able to be formalized, but 12 have been able to expand their businesses. So this program is very good. I think what we take it as a National Economic Empowerment Council is to expand it, and in the future to work with UNITA and also the youth who have been through this program.
On the other hand, the Program Officer of UNITA, Michelle Adala, says the program has enabled the youth and women involved to boost their innovative skills and become more bankable. Some of the participants of the training say they have been able to transform their businesses in various ways, while others expect to expand their businesses.
They will go anyway through the ecosystem partner. They will need to talk with their potential partners, donors, seed funding, capital support, and they need to be able to get that confidence from the financial institutions. In this program, we know that financial institutions have their own expectations in terms of bankability. So the program now we're doing is to put these women and youth here from Tanzania in a level that they are bankable, reducing the risks, and getting the confidence of financial institutions.
So through this program, we were able to be introduced to various governmental authorities and social authorities, which were able to empower us when it comes to understanding on how you can legally register your business, for instance, BRELA.
We have been able to receive a lot of knowledge, skills, and personally, as a founder of Agreemento, we were initially registered as a sole proprietor business. But as a result of this particular engagement or this particular program, we've been able to transition from being registered as a sole proprietor to now a company limited by shares.
Before the program, I was not able to even write a business proposal or business idea, how to pitch, but now I can stand and pitch. The pitch is 2 minutes, and I can write a business proposal which I can show it to investors and other people who can see the potential in me and invest in my business.
The Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, Dr. Edwin Mhede, has called on fisheries stakeholders to ensure that challenges faced by fishermen, especially seafood processors, are addressed in order to create a conducive environment for fishermen. Dr. Mhede made the remarks during the launch of Asia-African Blue Tech Superhighway Inception and Theory of Change workshop in Dar es Salaam. Peter Mganga has more details.
Stakeholders and experts in fisheries from Tanzania, Nigeria, Kenya and Mozambique meet in Dar es Salaam to discuss various issues about the sector. Addressing participants, Dr. Mhede urges fisheries stakeholders to create solutions for all challenges facing local fishermen.
We all know that the challenge of post-harvest losses and waste remain a critical issue that undermines the potential gains from this sector. And therefore, implementation of this project, particularly through the workshop package number 3, as I've been told, it is timely. It's timely in the sense that it will scale up climate-smart technologies so as to reduce the waste and various losses along the value chain.
On his part, the Director of Fisheries, Professor Mohamed Sheikh, says they have succeeded in reducing loss of fish harvesting in Tanzania to a large extent compared to previous years.
We have been working so hard on this particular matter because we are working with other partners, including FAO, and now we have several technologies on the ground that we make sure that we reduce and we increase value addition to fisheries products. And it reflects well in our fisheries master plan 2021-2036. It's clearly stipulated one among the priorities is to make sure that we increase value and to reduce the post-harvest loss.
Furthermore, fisheries specialist from World Fish Organization, Aditya Palmer, says their goal in this project is to reach about 50,000 people in different regions in Tanzania as part of building capacity for local fishermen in their business.
This project is about seafood in general, aquatic food. We also are planning to work on seaweed. In Tanzania, currently there are about more than 2,000 women who work on seaweed production and processing and marketing. So, for example, we want to, for this group, we want to actually work with all of these women to, you'll be able to impact all of these. And at a Tanzanian scale, at least we want to engage with about 40 to 50,000 people. So, in each of the locations, so we'll select 4 or 5 locations. In each location, about 10,000.
Asia-Africa Blue Tech Superhighway Inception and Theory of Change workshop will last for 3 days, accompanied by sessions from various facilitators on the best way to reduce the loss of fish harvesting in Tanzania. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Peter Mganga, TBC News.
The government, through the ICT Commission, says that it aims to build 8 information technology centers in 8 regions in the country to support innovations in the IT sector. Speaking in Dar es Salaam after receiving the world winners of the Huawei IT competition held in China, the director of IT experts from the ICT Commission, Sadath Kalolo, says the centers will assist in improving production in the society.
We are planning to bring in the picture about 8 soft centers, 2 of which will be on the Eastern Zone in Dar es Salaam and Lindi. 2 of them will be in Northern Zone, Arusha and Tanga. 1 will be located in Mwanza. 1 will be located in Mbeya. 1 soft center will be in Dodoma, and 1 will be in Zanzibar.
This competition has a lot of meaning to the Tanzania in general, but of course to Tanzania as a whole. So I think we need to put more effort to our students who are doing the ICT, not only at the University of Dar es Salaam, but in general to different institutions of Tanzania.
The winners of the competition from the University of Dar es Salaam say that their existing innovations in the communication sector will help to bring positive impact in the development of the ICT sector in Tanzania.
This is our starting point, at least to start in Tanzania, especially the government can select maybe one area, maybe in Dar es Salaam can find somewhere to start now to build this smart city like a pilot project.
Students from the University of Dar es Salaam have managed to win about 24,000 yen after emerging the winners of the world competition in the area of connecting mobile networks, where they competed with more than 49 countries around the world. Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in the exchange rates. We'll be right back after a short break, and international news will be up. And here's the international news as compiled by Ramadan Impenda and read to you by Faidha Ngaga.
Uganda has launched a mass vaccination campaign against yellow fever. The program manager for the Uganda National Expanded Program on Immunization, Dr. Michael Baganizi, says Uganda is one of the 27 countries that is regarded still as high-risk countries in the world so far, meaning that it's high risk or you could get yellow fever around the country, so they require to have proof of vaccination. He believes the silence of people to get the vaccine is due to the fact that the disease is not as well known as others like malaria, and even one case can become a national risk for health. They hoped to reach millions of people, but vaccine hesitancy has left hundreds of unused doses in hospitals across the country. Last year, in June 2023, the government of Uganda ran a campaign hoping to target 13 million people, but to date, only 12 million people have been immunized, and vaccine hesitancy is stalling the government's aim of eradicating the mosquito-borne virus from the country. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, 27 countries in Africa, including Uganda, have been classified as high risk for yellow fever, with 90% of reported global cases occurring in the continent. It says symptoms include fever, headache, muscle pain, nausea, vomiting, fatigue, and bleeding from the nose and eyes. Tens of thousands of students in Somalia's central Hiran region have been forced to stay out of schools after heavy rains flooded the institutions. According to Somali education officials, more than 37,000 students in that region in central Somalia are no longer in school due to the impact of recent flooding. The area has been battered by heavy rains, resulting in severe flooding in schools. Parents are worried about how the disruption of education will affect their children's performance in the upcoming national examinations, and the floods also raised concerns of local teachers about the long-term impact on the education. Some teachers say the learning materials have been destroyed and the classrooms have been damaged, and it is very difficult to recover because most of the students have been displaced far away to locations, and it will be hard to bring them back and resume lessons. The students in this region always have the worry of not taking part in the examination exercise despite hard work and preparation due to the flood havoc. Last year, the Somali government organized special exams after similar incidents of flooding disrupting the exam timetable. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez says the establishment of a Palestinian state is the only route to peace in the Middle East, as his country announced a formal recognition alongside Norway and Ireland. Sanchez spoke on Tuesday before a cabinet vote that approved the previously announced plan to recognize a Palestinian state, and added that the state of Palestine must be viable with the West Bank and Gaza connected by a corridor and with East Jerusalem as its capital. Norway's recognition has also taken effect, while Ireland has also followed suit. Spanish government spokesperson Pilar Alegria announced that the cabinet has adopted an important decision to recognize a Palestinian state, which had one objective: to help Israelis and Palestinians achieve peace. The Spanish Prime Minister called the move a matter of historical justice, and Spain will not recognize any changes to pre-1967 borders unless agreed to by both parties.
That was the international news. Sports news is up next. And in sports, despite crashing out JKT Tanzania by 2-0, Simba misses a chance to play the CAF Champions League, and now will play CAF Confederation Cup as they finished third in the Tanzania Premier League with 69 points. Azam Football Club qualifies to play the CAF Champions League for the second time in history after finishing second in the Tanzania Premier League table by beating Geita Gold by 2-0 and collected 69 points, equals to Simba, but they are ahead of Simba due to its superior in goals difference. Aziz Ki took a golden boot after finishing top scorer in the Tanzania Premier League with 21 goals, while his rivals Faisal Salum finished second with 19 goals. Mtibwa Sugar and Geita Gold have been relegated from Tanzania Premier League after finishing in the bottom of the league, while Tabora United and JKT Tanzania have the chance to be back in the league as they will play playoffs games. The acting Tanzania Professional Boxing Regulatory Commission's Vice Chairman, Alex Galinoma, says they cancelled Hassan Mwakinyo's fight against Ghana Patrick Alote after the promoter of the match failed to fulfill its procedure. Speaking to TBC News reporter in Dar es Salaam, Galinoma revealed that lack of commitment and professionalism of the promoter spearheaded the decision of its board to cancel the fight and warned the promoter to fulfill their responsibility in time if they want the fight to take place.
It is not a good thing and we don't like it due to the fact that it reduces our reputation, but we can't see our professional boxers don't get their rights.
Tanzania international boxer Hassan Mwakinyo and Ghana Patrick Alote's fight for the World Boxing Organization WBO title belt was scheduled to take place in Dar es Salaam in May the 31st. And before we wind up our news bulletin for tonight, let us now take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Good evening, dear viewers. This is 24 hours weather forecast starting at 9 p.m. tonight. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Desderi Moses. Models are showing persistence of dry condition over most part of the country, while for the windy patterns, wind is expected to flow at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour over Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, and Lake Nyasa, and at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour over the southern coast of Indian Ocean, and at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour over the northern coast of Indian Ocean. And therefore, Tanzania Meteorological Authority has issued a warning of strong winds exceeding 40 kilometers per hour and large ocean waves exceeding 2 meters over the northern coast of Indian Ocean in the region of Dar es Salaam, Tanga, Pwani, including Mafia Isles, together with Unguja and Pemba Isles. And for the southern coast of Indian Ocean, Tanzania Meteorological Authority has issued an advisory of strong winds reaching 40 kilometers per hour and large ocean waves reaching 2 meters over Lindi and Mtwara regions. People living in those areas are advised to take necessary measures and precautions. And tonight, dear viewers, it is our expectation that patchy cloud conditions to persist over the entire country. And tomorrow, Kigoma region, Kagera and Mara region are expected to feature patchy cloud condition, thunderstorms over a few areas and sun periods, while the rest part of the country is expected to be mainly dry. And now, let's have a look on the weather forecast for the next few days for some regions in our country. That's all for tonight. Thank you for watching us. Good night.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Kanki Mwegomole. Good night.